Good morning, everybody. Happy coffee time. Let's see, what am I... Well, the sun's coming out. It's supposed to rain most of the day, but it was supposed to rain most of the day yesterday, and it didn't. Because we were able to let Cookie go swim for a little while, which she loves. But this morning I want to talk about something. It might be a little lengthy. I'm going to try to shorten it up, though. But I want to honor the firefighters, the hot shots that are out there protecting us from wildfires, any type of fires, really. In June 30th, 2013, I lived in Yarnell, Arizona. Yarnell is a small community. It's north of Phoenix, up on the hills. And that day, well, actually, a couple of days before the 30th, we were having weather, and it was just drizzling. I was sitting outside with my son and a friend of mine, and we were just sitting out there talking, and I noticed lightning striking just, down near on the other side of the boulders. And I told my son, run down to the fire department, because they were just right below us. We lived like on a hill, and we were on the top of the hill, and then the next level down was where the fire department was. So he ran down there. By that time, other people are calling in, saying they saw smoke as well. 2 days of that. We saw the fire at night. We could see the sparkling, the sparkling. Yeah, right. The fire. But on the 30th, finally, on the 30th, we had the big planes coming out trying to contain the fire. The fire was heading towards Peoples Valley, which is like 3 miles away from Yarnell, north of Yarnell. And it was, oh Lord, it was a tragic day that day, okay? I had gone down with a friend of mine to the little diner down below. They were starting to evacuate people. People were being evacuated, but it wasn't that definite, it was sort of a suggestion to leave. Now, the fire's on the other side of the highway from where I was. I was on this side, the fire was on the other side. And so we were at the diner, and my husband at the time, he wasn't my husband. At the time, we were just great friends. He called me and he said, there's going to be an evacuation. He was a dispatcher for the fire department. I was dispatching for the fire department until a week before when I quit. I will go into that later, why I did quit. But anyway, so I said, okay, well, my pickup had a flat. I did not have a spare, okay? My youngest son is calling my oldest son, who lives in Phoenix, and he's telling him, you got to come get Mama. I'm calling my son and saying, I'm okay. I'm on this other side. I'm not worried about it. No, you got to come get Mama. And I'm telling him, I don't want to. I don't want to go. I'm not going unless thank you. Thank you. Cookie, get down. No, Cookie. Okay, go ahead. I said, I'm not leaving unless I can take all my animals. I am not leaving unless I take them all. And I couldn't take them because, my pickup, and they weren't, by that time, the fire was really bad. But it was still going towards Peoples Valley. We had hot shots out there in the fire, trying to do some containment. Well, anyway, I made it back to the house. with my son from Phoenix on the phone telling me, you gotta go, you gotta go. I got home. I went inside. I went to the bathroom, come back outside, and I got this overwhelming feeling. Because at that point, well, let me go back a little bit. The fire was heading towards People's Valley. The wind picked up and it brought the fire right back into Yarnell to Glen Isla, towards Glen Isla. I mean, it was like you light a gas stove, and you know how the little lights come on, you know, real fast, but one after the other. That's the way it appeared to me. It heading back towards Glen Isla. And I got this overwhelming sadness. I went down on my knees. I don't even know why. I didn't know why at the time, but I started to cry. And my son says, what's wrong, Mom? I said, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just, something terrible's happening. Well, about that time, friends of mine, Joy and Sonny, come up. They had a station wagon. And they said they were heading down into Congress. Well, the fire is out there, you know, what are you doing? But we have to evacuate. I said, well, can you take my animals with me? Can I take them? Oh, yeah, well, they didn't know I had 2 big dogs and 4 little dogs and 2 cats and 2 birds. We all got into it, okay? It's kind of like they're going, any other animal? But anyway, we all got down there. Going down Yarnell Hill was terrifying. It was more terrifying to me than than staying up at my house. Because the smoke was so thick and so black, you could not see. Made possible some headlights ahead of you. Or not headlights, but tail lights. And you just hope that they're not going off that mountain, because it's like this all the way down, like a snake trail, and very dangerous, very, very dangerous. But nevertheless, we made it down. Petrified. I was so scared. I was so scared. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life. We made it down. My oldest son met me down below. My youngest son stayed up above. He's okay. He didn't die. Thank you, Lord. But anyway, that's another story. We got down there. We transferred all the animals into my son's car. My daughter-in-law, that hates birds, had to end up holding the cage with my birds because the dogs wanted to get to it. It was kind of hilarious in a sense. But anyhow, we get down to Phoenix. And get down there, turn on the television. Because my youngest son was still up there. And many of my friends were still up there. And I'm so, you know, I got to find out what's going on. Well, about the time that I felt that sadness, I learned this after I got down there and I turned on the television and I heard what happened. I heard what time it happened, and I knew what it was. But I didn't know at the time what it was. But 19 hotshots died in that fire. 19 of them. It was really so tragic. They were young men, very young, with family. But I honor them because they were there fighting for us to save our homes. We lost many homes, but we didn't lose no one up in Yarnell. None of the residents passed. But 19 firefighters did. I was watching on YouTube, and you can see it on YouTube. It's Yarnell Hill fire. I mean, there's a lot of videos about it. Even in my Facebook, I've got some videos on it because we were videotaping it before we went down the night before. But it was... I was watching one of the videos, and they were talking about... Well, actually, it was a clip from the movie. Only the Brave, I think, is the name of it. A reenactment of what they went through, and it just... it tore me apart. Because I felt it when it happened, even though I didn't know what was happening. But when I think of these 19 young men that lost their life to save our lives, it just broke my heart. My husband, which at the time was not my husband, he dispatched that weekend, and he had to evacuate also because he lived on the side where the fire was the worst, and they made him evacuate. And my husband was an animal lover like you would not believe. I mean, you know, I have Brian, and I had Ziggy, and Doris Louise was his, and so was Kent Kitty. But I just want to honor these young men and women that go out there to fight fires, to save lives, and lose their own. I want to honor their family. Children that lost their fathers. One woman was pregnant at the time that her husband died in the fire. Mothers, grandparents, fathers, you know, it's just such a tragic thing that happened. And there's still a lot of things that are going on regarding that fire that is still kind of suspicious as to not how the fire happened, because we all know what started the fire. It was that lightning strike. But there's still a lot going on regarding the aftermath of it. The health issues that happened to the people since then. I was talking to a friend of mine, the woman Joy, that was her and Sonny took us down, and I was just talking to her the other day, and she was talking about all the health issues that have been happening in that town. The cancer, people are dropping with cancer and respiratory problems and what have you, and you know, anyway, it's a very tragic thing, and I want to honor the young men and women that are out there to save our lives on these wildfires that a lot of times are caused by people. By people. Negligence or intentional. Whichever one. There's a lot of tragedy that happens because of it. Look at California, the lives that were lost there. We were fortunate. We didn't lose any resident lives, but we lost 19 young men out there. Anyway, that's my story for today. I thank you all for listening. And please keep in your hearts these young people that are out there, young, old, don't matter. They're out there fighting to save lives. Peace to all of you. Love you all.